What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? And welcome to our second episode of our second season. We are excited. This is Dear Black Woman, a podcast where we dive into the stories, lessons, and truths that shape the Black female experience across the globe. As you know, I am your co-host, Cammie Red, joined by my other co-hosts, Lauren Edwards and Tenisha Mercer. Today, we're excited to have an incredible guest. Just Mike the poet, an author, motivational speaker, and creator of some powerful works like The Boyfriend Book and Dear Woman. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what it means to live authentically, owning your truth, setting boundaries, and embracing your purpose unapologetically. So grab your cup of tea, coffee, smoothie, whatever you're drinking this morning, and let's settle in and let's get real about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your sense of self. Let's first bring our co-host on, Lauren, Tenisha. Lauren, you trying not to have a cow right now? Are we speechless already this morning, ladies?
We're good. Bring him in.
You ready? Okay.
Come on.
Mike, welcome to the stage. Welcome to the show. Thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, afternoon.
All right, so I'm going to break the ice with one of my questions because I know nobody ever listens or does the homework. My first question to everyone, and we're going to start with you, Lauren, is...
Oh, what? No, don't start with me today.
Yes,
it's not
What does living authentically mean to you? And how do you navigate the challenges of the world just by staying true to yourself?
Cammie, really? It's too early for me to think about this. Hold on. So for me, you start, Mike, because I need to get into it.
Passing this off on you. Go ahead, Mike.
I think for me it's the journey of self-discovery, and I think any attempt at authenticity must start with discovering oneself, because I think a lot of people will realize that they've kind of been programmed into living like most, or programmed into how mainstream society wishes you to live. So I think any work in being authentic, it's like, well, who am I outside of what the cool people are doing or the rich people are doing or the popular people are doing? Like, who am I and what makes me feel good?
Do we even know anymore?
Do we even know? As long as we live, we know.
Do you think the pandemic kind of gave us a chance to figure things out of who we are? Or do you think we've now moved past
overall,
that?
I think everyone's pandemic experience was different.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was a microscope on what was already going on.
Yeah.
I think it did reduce social contact, but for some people that was a break, because a lot of people realize now that they aren't as social, right? A lot of people are overly stimulated. You hear that word a lot now, like I'm overstimulated. I think maybe I can only speak for like Western society, but we're it's in our tradition to go out every Friday, Saturday, go out every Sunday, work every Monday through Friday. And I think the pandemic really just said, you know what, we're just going to take a break from all of this. And it put a microscope on who you were, what your habits were, who you were loving, how you were loving yourself, because that's all you had to do.
Yeah.
And that's what you must have done to survive. So I think that while it was really, really it felt like forever. As a 40-year-old man, I think it was only just a chapter in my book. It did offer recalibration, though, which was essential. But I think the first step into true authenticity is like, okay, do I really like these things, or am I doing them because that's what I want to do? Because that's what I've been told to do. Or like
I think I was a bit in the whole lockdown situation. I was a bit of a rebel, I think, and I didn't really do as I should as I should have. I just couldn't take being contained and sitting still, so I just used it as time as yet. Even though you said to sort of take heed on myself, I think for me, I took it as time to catch up because I'm always doing so much stuff at once. It was a time where everyone else was kind of slowing down and pausing. And I was like, oh, great, I can catch up with all the stuff that I haven't done. And that's where I think, so I didn't really stay home, and because I think that would have just drove me mad. But what I will say is I own you guys call it a preschool, we call it a nursery. And I see the shift in parents, in children, just people in general since when coming out of lockdown. The social anxiety, like, it is crazy here in the UK. Children, the way they socialize is completely different, and we've got all this additional needs and learning difficulties with young children now. And I think a lot of it was to do with being locked in. I don't know, maybe not.
That could, but a lot also has to do with, like we said, being locked in was a journey. Well, for me, and I did the same thing you did, Lauren. I bounced around, but we moved. But it was more so about a journey of self-discovery. And I think that's what, when we talk about living authentically, as Mike was saying, you have to start there. You have to start with being understanding who you are, what it is that you like, your dislikes, how you want to show up in the world, how you want people to not necessarily see you. Well, yeah, see you, but just unapologetically be yourself, and to know who that is. Like we bounced during the pandemic too. We moved from Atlanta to Texas the minute they opened the borders. So we were already going around.
I think for me, I'm just starting to find who I am. I've been in relationships since I was probably 16 years old.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of been adapting to someone else or putting someone else first or understanding. I've had children and whatever. And so it's just, I'd say in the last 2 years, it's been very scary, but it's been exciting at the same time. So when we say living authentically, I think I'm still trying to find what that means for me.
Yeah. And I think that happens a lot, especially when we talked about before about being teen moms and about, like, I went from being someone's daughter to being someone's mother. And we talk about how a lot of times women our age are really just discovering, some of the time who they are, some of the things that they like outside of, being a mother or being someone else's child or falling in line to those societal standards. So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying not to talk today. I'm not, because I talk too much all the time. Mike, you go for it, because I am always talking.
We were told we're conversational bullies, you guys.
We're conversational bullies.
Yeah. So
yes. I usually do. Believe it or not, I get more excited when I do large number podcasts. The one-on-ones are really tough. I mean, I think the time goes by faster because you're so engaged. But I love it when I'm around the bullies, because I can just hear
that can be taken in a lot of words. You need to get back to writing, Mike. Get back to writing.
No, this is gonna be a breeze. I'll probably only have like 12 minutes of talk time. This is great.
So, what got you into writing poetry and
heartbreak?
Wow.
Yeah,
and that's what made me pick up your book.
Heartbreak, frustration with the dating pool. It's like nobody wrote a love letter to the dating pool, and that's what I used to do every day. I mean, because I was so tired. I was so tired. Like, it's only now as I'm older that I realize I'm probably not like most humans, in terms of my levels of empathy and compassion. I believe that they're the backbone of everything that I do, but it also puts me in this unfortunate emotional position, right? Because I care so much, and I'm so genuine, and I'm so kind, and I'm so warm. But I think words like reciprocity make me believe that just because I'm those ways, that the world must be that way, with me. And I set myself up for failure doing that, because I believe that everything I do is for God. So I please him, regardless of how the people I'm pleasing don't please me. And I take the power from them to repay me emotionally, financially, spiritually, respectfully.
But you also get a lot of people that must come to you and tell you what your words, what your book, what your poems have kind of taken them on a journey. It's certainly taken me on a journey. So when you get that back, how does it make you feel? When's the first time that you had something like that come back to you, and how did it make you feel?
Oh, see, I started early. I think because my publishing career was so rugged, the first book I ever wrote, it was mostly family, friends, and local community that purchased it first, right? And I made it this big thing. It was like 12, 12, 12. Send me your address. I'm going to deliver books to you. And people were like calling me back by like Sunday, Monday, just like losing their minds, like, yo, this is dope. Where's the next one, right? So, you fast forward 13 years from now. Sometimes at this point, it doesn't hit the same. I think what I get from it now as much is like, my most recent book was 8 years ago. And a woman could purchase it last July, and it hit me up in August, like, yo, this is amazing. And I'm like,
what was it? What did I do?
That's what really feels good, because it's kind of like music, like some songs you're just going to play for your whole life. Now some music is just, you might twerk to it a little bit one summer, but after that, it's not in your rotation. But I just mean to say that the gratitude that I receive now is because real art is timeless. It's relevant still. So there's probably I've sold over like a 500,000 books, and I would probably say in my touring career, I've probably been in front of nearly 1 million people.
Wow. You've not been to London yet, though, right?
Yeah, no, I've been to London maybe 5 times.
Oh,
hi, Mike. It was nice having you on the show. I hope you enjoy your next trip to London.
I've really been, like we were talking backstage, and I was saying I really missed writing. But like I could say I've been to London 5 times, but the most recent time was like before the pandemic, like 2020.
Okay. And what was you doing there?
I have a friend. Her name is Floasis, Natalie. She does a monthly spoken word called the Flow Vortex. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing place. Some of the most talented writers in London. I think it's in Shoreditch now.
Yeah, Shoreditch, East London. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just get on a plane and go catch a vibe there and see my London friends.
Nice, lovely. Thank you. So
I'll let you know. I promise, pinky swear, the next time I come to London,
if I'm free, Mike. If I'm free, I'll let you know.
You're gonna be free. Like, don't front.
I'll let you know, Mike. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you because well,
5 times. I don't want you to come. Then it's like if you know, that's fine. But no, I think.
And what about Paris, where Tenisha is? Tanisha's in Paris. Have you been Paris?
Have I been to Paris? Not poetically. But I did.
Definitely come. They love the arts here. You really should come.
Yes,
they love like the whole vibe.
I flew to Paris one time, and I didn't go to the right places apparently.
Okay.
Because I didn't have fun. We took on the third day, took a train to Brussels.
Okay.
And I had a ball.
Wow.
I went to Belgium and I had fun there, but I just didn't find maybe the people of like downtown Paris, they're not really the most welcome to tourists.
No, I find France, you get a different experience. Like everywhere you go is like, I've been to Jamaica with a group of people and I hated it. I've been to Jamaica with another group of people and it was the best. Yeah. I think it's just everything is about who you go with or who you connect with, and that's just the way it is. But as soon as you've been to London 5 times, I'm still very And what about
No, you're
Eliza
not going to get
Joy?
over that. You're going to need some time.
She is not letting that go.
She's not letting it go.
She's not letting it go.
It's fine, Cammy. It's fine. It'll be fine. I'll be fine. He didn't know before. Now he knows me now. Like he can't. The airport will alert me now, so they'll be like, "Oh, he's here." But did he contact you before?
What is all this about? Is this like is this it's not fandom, I don't think.
It is fandom.
It is, but it's not like a
Are you
fandom.
single? I hope you don't have a boyfriend because it would
your books got her through her divorce. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, we're really sharing now, huh?
No, Cammy.
Okay.
So,
I mean, we'll unpack that. We'll
she
unpack
is
that at some
very
point.
single. Okay.
I mean,
it's just.
I'm good. Look, the thing is for me, like I said, I remember picking up your book and reading it. And actually, it was one of the things that my ex-husband used to sort of get a bit angry about. He used to get angry about your book. He used to say, "Oh, you're reading that, to make you feel better, kind of thing." And I used to be like, "Yeah, I am. Yeah, After I was ready, I was up for it,
I've been dealing with that my whole life. So his reaction is totally normal. My brother, you don't feel any, it's not a weird way to feel. Thousands and thousands of men.
They don't like you.
I'm not liked.
What do
listen,
they say?
if it's your little sister that reads the book or your mother, they love it. They appreciate me. They want to hug me. But when it's your mate, your partner, your boo thing, your bae, he is pissed. He is pissed, and I guess guilt makes you tilt. So his being pissed is a reflection on the way he treats you. So
I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt.
What, guilt makes you tilt? Yeah.
That's if he doesn't already have it on the t-shirt.
No. But you do it and just give me 10%.
Okay, perfect. You have to come to collect it. Anyway, moving on.
Oh my God. Let me get.
And I've seen that you started to do a lot of like platforms where you're doing are they still like classed as podcasts, but they're kind of in a live audience, right? You started to do those now.
Yes. My friend Tony, Ace Metaphor. I've known him since 2016. And now he has the biggest live podcast in the country. Tonight's Conversation. And
that's actually, I watched a couple of your episodes. That's where I was like, okay, Lauren, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I stopped writing poetry for books and for tours like in 2017. And then I got into real estate pretty heavy. I got into book publishing, and I got into like legalized cannabis. And so for the last 7 or so years, I have been mostly not a poet. Now I have friends who like, hey, I'm going on tour. We want you to come, and I'll come. I think they see the value in me, and I in them. And then my friend Tony, he says, "Yo, I want to start this card game called Tonight's Conversation. Like, I want to make like cards, like dating cards." And I was actually like one of the first talent members on Tonight's Conversation. And then it went so good that he started to shoot in studio sessions. And next thing you know, this is our 4th year on tour.
Wow.
We get somewhere between 2,000, 2,500 in the smaller cities to 7,000 to 9,000 in the larger cities.
I think you all tape here often in Atlanta.
Yes. We try to come to each city twice a year. And we've been doing that since 2022.
So let me ask you a question. You do all of this touring. You see all of these people. How do you show up as your most authentic self throughout all of this? Because I'm pretty sure you're in different places. There are different personalities. Mm-hmm. You get, as my co-host is fanning out over you, you have
I'm all right. I'm fine
out over you as well. Yeah. How do you show up as your most authentic self throughout all of this?
Well, I think the second part of authenticity is the maintenance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think after you after you do the work of figuring out who you are and you fall in love with that person, um, showing up is routine because all of that, your authenticity is not on you anymore; it's in you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just, at some point, it's just like brushing your teeth. I mean, because it becomes a bit redundant, right? I mean, the first time you do a show and it's 3,000 people, you're like, oh shit. But now we're maybe 300 shows in. So it's been there, done that. It becomes routine, but the same way the authenticity does. Like I made a purpose myself um, to not overindulge in this opportunity that I have to serve me. Right? Like I'm not gonna, just because I'm around thousands of beautiful women every weekend, I'm not gonna use this as an opportunity to be the type of man that, I mean, shit, I'm not even that guy anyway. But um, and I think because I'm on like year 12 of being, I guess like an artist, like a talent,
Mm-hmm.
like I I don't get the bubble guts anymore, right? And I'm not impressed by a beautiful woman that just wants to go home with her tonight. I low key scoff at them because it's like you don't really respect me and what I've
Or
done
you're okay.
or what I stand for. Like your infatuation is with the flesh; it's not with the spirit. And my flesh doesn't give itself away without the spirit anymore.
But do you feel like there are so when we talk about our authentic self, I think it depends on who you come across, because if some people might listen to you, Mike, and they might know you, or they might have dated you, or their family member, and I think everyone's gonna say something like, be like, he's nothing like that, or Cammie's nothing like that, this is just a facade, or this is not really. Everybody's gonna view you differently. So how do you show up authentically when you say that? Do you think that you do have many kind of personalities or faces or masks that you put on depending on what environment you're in? So do you think different people have different opinions of you, basically?
Oh, sure. And I think at some point they must. Um, one, because I think one must be protective of their energy. So I can't allow people to consume me all the same ways, right? There needs to be boundaries, you know. I think authenticity is the path to self-discovery is a tunnel to your core. And as long as the work has been done to dig that out and light the way, then just need to be a judge of how far you let people into this tunnel. Like, I think, I think some of the people who read my books probably know me better than some family,
Yeah.
but that's just because the work is different, right? I think social Mike and friend Mike are two totally different people. I think son Mike and brother Mike are two totally different people. Because relationship management at its core is not treating everybody the same, but treating every interaction, every soul that you encounter differently. And that should be a way. I don't think there's two people on earth, except for my lovers. I think I'm a consistent lover. So if you put all of my lovers in a room, you'll realize that I've loved them all the same. But other than that, like, uh, I wouldn't call it compartmentalized, but it's just boundaried experience.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. You talk about how people who have read your books may know you a little bit better than some of your family members and friends. Is that because you feel like you put more of yourself into your writing than you actually show or expose to people who are closest to you?
No, I mean, one, my family probably has purchased all of my books, but did they read them? Right. So I just use that that line to measure people's investment in you.
Okay.
Like some people just want to socially be associated with you, right? But it's like, do you care? Like if you care about me, it would make you read my books and then you would know me, right?
Right.
So it's more so that thing, because I don't hide my poet self. My page is public. My books are available for purchase. So it's how how much of me do you really want to know about? You know what I mean? I mean, well, you just want to come to my birthday parties and the cookouts? You know what I mean? But so I just mean to say that the opportunity to know me is there to anybody on earth, because I put myself in my writing. And if you want to do it, you can.
Do you enjoy the podcast panel stuff, or do you enjoy poetry when you're on the road for poetry, or do you enjoy the podcast and giving people advice, etc.? What is it that you're enjoying? If you was to compare both, what is it that you enjoy more?
Well, I enjoy both things for two totally different reasons.
No, you're not allowed to pick that. You have to pick one.
Well, I mean, well,
I'm
if I
going to
had
be
to
difficult, Mike. I'm going to be difficult.
No. We gotta kind of rewind the tape back, because I really think I was about to do a good job at answering.
Okay, go ahead and let him answer the way.
But no, I think when I first did my first poetry show, it was an established event that I just posted on my socials to say, hey, I'm going to be here. Everybody should come. And then I watched shows that had 30 and 40 people end up with like 150, right? And then I watched people who would not charge to get in a venue because I was coming there. They would charge 40, 50 bucks. Wow. And I'm like, nah, we can't do that. So then I became my own booking agent and tour manager. So I found the talent, found the venues, booked the travel, set up, checked tickets, did the VIP meet and greets, flyers, ticket links, like pretty much everything it took to do a poetry show. Now, if you can imagine doing 30 shows in about 45 to 50 days all across the country, wow, you can imagine how stressful that is, right? And then you mix in maybe 15 days of podcast interviews, maybe 15 colleges per year, and it's like, yo, like this is literally insane. Yeah. But it was the fulfillment of being on stage, and that's what I always. Well, that's not what I told myself. I think that's what I discovered, that all of the work that I put in was worth it, because at some point, I'll get to come out on that stage, and that's when I really get to be my happiest self. So I'll argue with the venues. I'll travel the country. I'll sleep in vans. I'll shower with the hotel soap that dries your skin out. Right? But I'll do all of that just because at some point, first of all, people have paid to come see me. Not a podcast that I'm on with 7 other people, might be a surprise guest. No, like these people came to see Michael. And if you're somebody I've never met in a city I've never been to, and I say, hey, I'm going to be there, but you got to pay to see me, and you say that, and you say you commit to that, I must perform. And that, it's something about when they say just Mike the poet, like when somebody introduces me, whoever the talent is before me, and it's that feeling, and then it's like the sound of the crowd, and then you get up on stage and it's just silent. And I think that's fulfillment in its highest form to me. Now, what I love about tonight's conversation is I don't have to do nothing.
Just show up.
So, hey, listen, the dates are planned, the rooms are booked, the flights, I get to pick my flight. I don't have to pay for anything. I'm there 5 minutes before I got to be there. I stay 5 minutes after I'm done. Yeah. And I can sit on stage with 5 other people, and I might not have to say anything.
Until you're spoken to.
and then but beyond that, I get fulfillment from pouring into somebody else's vision, right?
Mhm.
Like, I remember when Ace was, he opened up for me at a poetry show. Then he was like, bro, I could do this too. And then he did his first couple tours. And then, he quit his job, reinvested into his business. And now, so just to be here for that journey with him up close, I'm super grateful. And I think we got to do a better job at showing up for our friends. I think
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think we spend a lot of time on work, and I think we spend a lot of time on our romantic life, and we'll realize that we didn't pour a lot into our friends and our community, and that's a disservice while you're here on the planet.
That most definitely is. That
Miss
I
Tenisha,
have.
you quiet? Are you always quiet or just today?
I'm just listening.
Well, give me some feedback. Tell me what
I
you
mean,
think.
I think
How
what
am
you're
I
saying
doing?
is great because I have more questions though. So the feeling you get when you're on stage,
Yes, ma'am.
like, does it change over time? Like the first time you went out, you had that feeling, and it's like that now. Like,
Oh,
what does
every
that look
every
like?
every time it's identically the same. Um, I think I think I play mind games with myself sometimes. So um, sometimes I don't like to. Sometimes I don't like to be seen until it's my time to go on stage.
Okay.
O- Other times I'm checking tickets at the door, right? So I really
Mhm.
curate my experience for the night. But that 2 minutes before it's my time, I'm like, you know, what do you
Are
call
you
them? I'm giving.
nervous?
Yeah, I'm pacing back and forth. Um,
Really?
yeah. But I think it's for me. I think it's reverence for the art, right?
Okay.
And I don't necessarily exude confidence uh, or bravado or moxie on a daily basis. So I think it's just me showing up as how I ought, very humble, very respectful of the my craft and what I'm about to do because some people have like, what? I got a set. I'm gonna do this poem, then this poem, then this poem, then this poem, and this poem. I have no idea what I'm going to do until it's done.
Oh
Wow.
my
So when
goodness.
you're checking tickets at the door, are you gauging the audience to see, who's going to be in the audience and what
Well,
you're
no,
going to perform or
I'm doing that because somebody didn't show up for work that day, or I forgot to get me a chicken tucker, a chicken tucker. Well, no, a
a
ticket.
ticket checker?
Yeah. So trust me. If you ever see me taking tickets at the door at my big age, somehow I dropped the ball. But no, I just mean that like there's really no organization to how an offering of my art happens, right? Um, I like tonight's conversation is because I know exactly like the super VIP is exactly 6:15. VIP selfies are exactly 7:15. The first podcast is due backstage at 8:15. And then that first episode is 25 minutes. So it's just but
So with that podcast, because it's mainly is it women? It's only women. I
I
think
think
I've understood.
everything is only women.
Yeah.
Especially I think my poetry shows back in the day where if I had 300 women in the room, 300 people in the room, there were 290 women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say when you're on this podcast and you guys are continuously getting these women asking you questions about love life and stuff like this, do you ever get to the point where you're like, for Christ's sake, like black women are in a crisis overall, or there's something that needs to be done about what's going? Because sometimes I watch snippets of it. I don't watch the whole thing. I just kind of watch, and it's always like someone's just distressed about something, and I'm thinking,
Yes.
if you're having to do this podcast week in, week out, or and you're getting the same sort of questions and you're getting the same sort of requests for advice, do you get to the point where you look overall at black women and say, come on, something's got to change here? Or do you look and think black men or men in general need to do better? This is what we're left with here.
Believe it or not, I don't think that there is I don't think that only one sex is a victim here presently.
Why are you nodding your head, Cammy? Why are you nodding your head? Do you know what your podcast is called? Just saying. You better remember yourself, you know.
The reason I'm nodding my head is because we just had this very same conversation on our uncensored version of our podcast, and we came to the same conclusion that I don't think it's one particular set.
No, but what I was trying to get at with Mike was saying that he hears women on a weekly basis continuously.
Foolishness. The foolishness is bizarre. It's bizarre. I think some people are having real difficulties in real relationships about real things. And I think some people are just foolish.
Sorry, just say how it is, then, Mike.
We talked about a recent episode where the woman showed up, was on the mic, and she was like, "I'm separated from my husband, and I see the side chick here."
Not just the husband. The husband and the side chick.
The husband and the side chick were there on date night.
Yeah.
And the wife was there too. So it's kind of like
we nosy. We was just like, well, what did the husband and the side chick have?
Yeah, what they look like? We're trying to figure out where are they in the audience? The camera panned around. Is it them? But yeah.
Yes, no, I think it gets really, really wild. Both in the crowd, at the mic, but it's only a microscope into such a larger
that's what I'm saying.
And the only thing that I notice is that there's nothing new under the sun,
right?
And it's always the hit dog that hollers, right? So we're not fortunate enough here at tonight's conversation to get a lot of people who have healthy relationships that are asking questions.
Yeah,
they're probably on date night. Like I think
exactly.
I think
they're out with their significant
Right? Also, Mike, do you think if you went to different parts of the world, you might get different views as well? Because, like you say,
I don't think so. I
don't think so either, Lauren.
I think anywhere that speaks English, it's going to be this way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, but that's the whole thing. You're saying anyone who speaks English, but Lauren, you can go to certain parts of.
From doing this show, what I've learned is that it doesn't matter where we are in the world. Even with you in London, with Paris, with Vietnam,
we haven't gone to places like Abu Dhabi or
no.
Places where the relationship dynamics are completely different. We're looking at Europe, we're looking at America, Canada, and I think they are very different. If you travel, you see that everything, people view relationships, marriage, family very differently, So I think where we're concerned, it's very much similar. Do you get what I mean? We can relate to a lot of the stuff. But I think the moment you go maybe into some of those other parts of the world, I think you'd get a very different story. I don't think you'd get the same outlook on it. So that's why I was just saying to Mike, do you think if you took it on the road, it might be different?
No, I think if I think of Jamaica, Toronto, even Mexico City, right? I mean, I think a lot of the issues are, cities are larger, they're more condensed, more sin, right? There's more sin, more temptation. We really need the Ghostbusters out here. I think love in the city is tough, right?
Yeah.
But I think if I had to put it all together, most of these people that struggle in relationships are struggling because their relationships are more transactional than spiritual.
Absolutely.
I don't feel any guilt for them, or I don't feel any sadness for them. If you were with a man because he was a provider, or because he looked good, or because the sex was great, anything in bad soil will never grow fruit.
That
Right?
is true.
So I think the people who really, I think people trying to give. I've seen so many people give themselves away to people when they don't even know what they're giving. Another exercise in futility. I know so many people that are struggling with love, not realizing that if you show me who you love, I'll show you how much I love myself.
Yeah. So let me.
Yeah, you show me who you love, and I'll show you how much you love yourself, because certain things just aren't tolerable.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that it's not just with most of these people, it's not just their love that is in chaos. It's their diet.
It's
It's their
everything.
relationship with God.
Yeah.
Their financial situation. Like, it's very, very rare that people who have done the inner work struggle with exterior things.
Yeah.
And
I'm a wellness facilitator in real life. I teach about the different aspects and the different dimensions of wellness. And I myself, the book Dear Black Woman was birth of my own, my own personal situations and the things that I was going through. But it's love letters to Black women. And it's something that I think that Black women need to hear, especially in this day and age when we show up. We show up as our most unauthentic selves in relationships, in life, in business. We don't show up as our true selves, as our true nature, loving ourselves, having value in ourselves, or finding our own self-worth. So I understand exactly what you're saying when you say that people in relationships, they're not your relationship is transactional. Most of your love life is based on how you feel or how you see yourself. And a lot of us, including those of us that are on this call, have been in relationships where we look up and we're like, oh my God, how did I end up in that situation? Or why was I with that person? And you have to look back and you have to take accountability and say, I was with them because of how I felt about myself or because of how I saw myself.
Do you know what? I think we've spoken about it previously, Cami, on some of the other podcasts, where I think it's scary for the younger generation. Obviously, we're in, there are women of our age that are in this similar situation, but I find the younger generation are a whole lot more transactional than, they are removed from any sort of kind of love these days. If I was to speak to some of the young girls in London, they are ruthless. They are, where you taking me? What are you doing for me? What can you get me? When can you get me it? And you just find that a lot of these older men, shall I say, they tend to go down that road and get hit completely with this new tsunami of like generation with these young girls that are literally just out for exactly what they can get. They're not even apologetic about it. They are unapologetic.
That's authenticity. Like, I don't think authenticity is going to bring everybody back to this. No, I think authenticity is saying, hey, listen, I'm at a period in my life where I wish to receive gifts, and I'm willing to exchange certain things for receipt of those gifts. Or I wish my interaction with men be experience based. So it's like everything is about an experience. And guess what? We love that. I want you to show up as her every time. I don't want you to hear about me as a poet and then say, you know what, I want to fall in love with your words, or I want to get deep with you. Fuck that. Go out into the trenches and get trenched, because we need organization in this dating pool, and it doesn't come without discovery.
I can't. Okay, this is I'm going.
Honestly, I think the biggest problem with the dating pool is that it's all of us in one pool. We should wear stickers.
Do you call it a pool, Mike? Is that what you call it?
But it's the truth.
Is it clean water in that pool? Because I don't think it's called.
So are people not honest? Are they not honest with their intentions? Because like you said, if this is what you want.
If my intentions are embarrassing and don't facilitate my goals, then of course I'm not going to be honest. I know a woman, a friend of mine who I used to date back in 2016, 2017, right? We were dating, and I don't date like normal humans. And she didn't like that.
What do you mean?
Wait a minute. Hold on. You knew that was gonna spark. You're like, what?
Well, all right. In the spirit of time, I'll just refer to my book, called The Boyfriend Book.
Okay.
And the premise of that book is like, hey, listen, I'm not, if I'm going to ask you to be with me, I'm going to go to the jeweler first. But if I don't go to the jeweler, I'm not going to expect you to be with me. But for them, that was like, oh, okay, well, you're not just going to propose. I mean, you're not just going to ask me to be your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You're going to propose to me. And I'm like, yeah, but that takes like most women are used to getting cuffed in like anywhere from 3 to 10 weeks, right? Whereas for me, it could be 3 to 10 months because I have to do a lot more research before I make such a huge decision. So a lot of women come in my life, and then I don't lead with romance because romance is not necessary at this juncture, right? I don't confuse that with manners, right? And don't confuse that with chivalry. I just specifically mean romance. So if you meet a woman that's trying to get cuffed via romance, we probably won't align. And me showing up authentically, right, means I'm going to tell you that in the beginning. And then you're going to be like, okay, I'll roll with it because you're handsome, successful, funny, normal, I guess. But then like maybe
I like when you say normal, I guess. Am I normal? Do you know you're normal? Are you normal?
So on Valentine's Day, is she like, where's my, my flowers? Where are my chocolates? Where are my gifts?
No. I mean, unless I meet her on the 13th, she probably already knows. She probably already knows. But I think what's so funny about this one woman was she ended up leaving me after like month 7 because we were doing really good.
You lasted just month 7, Mike. What did you do?
Well, no, I mean, I think there was another guy that came in and he was romantically and financially supportive.
Right.
But he expected exclusivity.
Right.
And he says, I will provide for you. I will romanticize you, but you can't talk to people like Mike anymore. And I'm no gatekeeper. So I guess she tried to leverage that and say, hey, well, you better marry me or I'll even take boyfriend, or I'm going to go be with this guy. And don't you know, she ended up with this guy, had 2 kids by him, found out that he had 2 more kids before he even met her that he never told her about. And now she's not in a great position in life because she decided at some point that romance, pre-marriage, monogamy, fidelity was what she wanted.
We were raised on Walt Disney. What are you expecting?
No, I don't think that's the case. I think women
and the Cosby Show.
Well, yeah, I love the Cosbys, right? But any woman, like I don't think that. First of all, I don't think that there were a lot of wholesome Black woman dating shows, with the exception of different shows.
Oh, right?
Okay. Anytime you saw a Black woman in a lead role, she probably had a husband, or it was a family dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think there was programming on television, even to this day. I think the first time I remember seeing Black women that were single were either Living Single or A Different World.
Girlfriends, right? Do you remember that?
I mean, but Girlfriend, I wouldn't consider Girlfriends as a wholesome show.
No,
I think a lot of their dating activity was a bit. I mean, it might have been fitting for like LA.
Living in London, UK, where we have nothing, by the way. Nothing. We used to
Some of the most beautiful women I've ever met in my life live in London.
They literally have no shows. We had no shows.
That's what she said.
When I used to go to the States, I used to lose my brain because I was like, oh my God, there's Black people on TV. Yes. Like when you live in Europe, it is very limited. You have to, now it's a little bit better.
Yes, we got Top Boy. We got Top Boy.
Exactly. That's it. That's what we're known for. Top Boy. Great. Yeah.
I said bruv for like a summer
What's
street.
Up, bruv? Yeah.
But no, I mean
I like that, Mike. Do it again.
No.
I'm just gonna snap him.
No, crazy. I love this. we must do a part 2 because I found this very fulfilling. Maybe you can like check in on me in like 3 months.
Well,
We
got
will. But in 3 months, I won't be in the United States anymore. Yeah.
Good for you. Hopefully you're going to Ghana.
No, I'll be in Vietnam.
Oh, Ho Chi Minh City?
Da Nang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, you're right. Are you thinking about like?
No, because I don't think Ho Chi Minh City is in Vietnam. There's a city in Vietnam.
Ho Chi Minh City is in Vietnam.
Is it? Okay, I was right. Look at me.
You were right.
Yeah. But no. Well, hopefully I'll be live in Vietnam with you.
Oh,
you are welcome to come to Vietnam.
I love to travel, and I would definitely come. Don't front. And
I'm not fronting. You can ask Lauren. I'm not fronting at all.
I'm going to bring you an Eagles hat too. Okay.
Well, let me say this is my home team, but the Eagles are my secondary team. So
you wore that hat today, okay?
No.
I'm from Philly. You knew I'm from Philly, yeah? So I'm just making sure because we're still in the playoffs. I don't know about you.
Yes, and I'm so happy that you all are in the playoffs. So I'm excited.
Well, listen, we don't like them. We don't like other birds besides us. Okay.
Well, see, I'm a Birds fan. I'm a Dirty Birds.
You gotta pick a side.
I cannot pick a side. I'm from Atlanta.
We don't want you, Miss Cammy Red.
Yes, but
your name is Red.
Listen.
Can we change it to Cammy Green?
Cammy Green.
Okay.
Listen, Philly is my second team. I'm just gonna say that they really are. So, but I'm an AT-alien, born and raised here in Atlanta. I get out, I travel. I may live in other cities, but this is always gonna be home.
Wow.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for taking the time out to come on. We got to learn a lot about you. But before you leave, I do have just one thing. What advice would you give to just anyone that's showing up in any space on how to just show up in their lives more authentically?
I know it sounds cliche, but it's do the work first. Like I think a lot of times people have show up syndrome when it's just like they think that the real work isn't showing up, not in who you're showing up as. So I think that first level of self-discovery looks like I feel like everything starts in the gut. Okay. And I don't want to go down a long road of like getting back to wellness, but I think your first step in accountability is what you put in your body. Okay. And I think you need to strip as much of the foods that you thought you liked, that you were routinely consuming, and start back with vegetables and fruits.
Yes,
that's right.
And if you can control the discipline in your gut, then you can get the second place I would tell you is to go to your brain.
Yes.
I would ask you to evaluate your consumption time and your consumption materials. I'm not a fan of the internet. I'm not a fan of people that diss the internet, because the same internet that has like the Shade Room and pages like that also has nature, political, geographical, spiritual pages. I don't mind you being in your phone, but what are you watching?
Yes.
What are
you feed in? What you feed in?
Even if you're on television, the same television that has Love and Hip Hop has YouTube full of
documentaries on good health, documentaries on food. Yeah.
And if you're sedentary, I don't mind you sitting on the couch and watching TV. Like most people who say, "Oh, you should read more books than watching TV." I mean, I don't care what I don't care which one you pick, right? The war isn't between books and television. It's programming, right? Yeah. So before you start trying to show up for other people authentically, show up for yourself authentically, and push yourself to ask yourself, what do I really like? Do I really like weed? Do I really like having sex? Do I really like eating dairy? I'm leaving. Listen, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. May God bless and keep all of y'all. Miss Bell, she is crazy, y'all.
That's my trademark. That's my trademark.
The next time the three of y'all plan to be in the same room, let me know. I don't care what.
Okay, so I am going to be in London February the 16th.
Yeah. Cammy is coming to London, and let me know that she's coming to London.
Can you catch the train?
Yeah,
I can. And
Tanisha, that's what we were saying we were going to do a live show because I'm going to be on the other side of the pond for about 2 years now. So
one, you said one. Now it's 2.
Yeah, it's 2 years in Vietnam. Yeah.
Have fun. I know. At least I know I got a house to crash at and a tour guide. But
yeah,
listen,
I was a chef for over 20 years, so I will cook for you too. So you got food, you got a place. Yeah.
Praise the Lord. Yes, shrimp and grit me, please. Hopefully
okay, that's what I said. I was like, they're gonna look up and I'm gonna be doing Southern food in Vietnam. Okay.
You know, if you can find a nice piece of real estate for sale or for lease, and we could build out a little kitchen. Man,
you talking to the wrong person, Mike.
Next episode, I really gotta go.
I have that information for you tomorrow. You better ask
I love you so much. We'll talk about it tomorrow then.
Stop, Mike, stop now. You have to stop. You don't understand. I'm trying to warn Tanisha. I'm trying to warn you. You guys don't want to listen.
Listen, you guys. This has been a wonderful show today.
Yeah.
This was a really great experience. I'm grateful to my Lauren. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for even just thinking about bringing him on. So that was really awesome, you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Dear Black Woman. We hope you've been inspired by today's conversation about living authentically with our special guest, Just Mike the Poet. We have to thank Lauren once again for that suggestion. So ladies, Tanisha, this was your first episode with us. How do you feel?
I feel good. It was such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I enjoy hearing from all of you and Mike as well. It was great. Thank you.
As you see, Lauren and I are
rodeo queens. Just out here. What happened? Did he get cut off or something?
Oh no, he's gone. He's gone. Yeah, but listen, everybody, just remember to live your life and live authentically. Whatever you do, living your truth. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself every day as yourself. Again, special thank you to my co-hosts, Lauren Edwards and Tenisha Mercer, for their insight, and to you, our listeners, for just being here with us yet again today. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, leave a review, and let us know how you feel about this episode. Go over to our website, which I should have just had going across the bottom of the screen, but I did not. And there it is, www.dearblackwoman.me, and leave us your insight, your review, comments, anything. Go up under the tab for our podcast and let us know what you think. But until next time, you guys, take care, stand in your truth, and know that you are always enough. So thank you and have a great night.